What's up, everybody? Billy. That was tough.
It's tough. It's preseason.
That's not what we were hoping to look forward to going into these final roster position battles.
It's preseason, and I ate my words a little bit last week. I said, man, our backups look really, really good. Tonight, it looked like JV out there versus Steelers.
It's funny you say that because you were kind of high on them in the Patriots game. You're like, dude, our backups are just annihilating these guys. You know, the Patriots backups, and then here we are. Way to go, Billy.
Yeah.
Way to jinx that. No, but in all honesty, the defense tonight in the secondary. Now, granted, you know, the Steelers are they've got some pretty solid young backup quarterbacks back there, slinging the ball around. You're talking about Josh Dobbs, Mason Rudolph. And I think they still got Landry Jones, I think, maybe. I don't know if can't recall if he played tonight or not.
I don't think he played. Dobbs played majority of it.
It doesn't matter. Whoever was in there tonight was absolutely just tearing apart the Panthers secondary. And it was just an ugly one. The Panthers lost 39-24. Whew. And it really didn't even feel that close. I mean, the majority of the time, guys. Y'all, I'm sure y'all watched it. And for y'all still tuning in on the post-game show and not already going to bed for work tomorrow after watching that, keep pounding. That's the status quo right there. What were you saying, Billy?
Maybe we were just more conditioned. I don't know, because at the end of the game, we did look like, we played better. But it was ugly.
Yeah, at the end of the game, we were down. They were just kind of playing soft, I think, at that point. But anyway, if you are tuning in right now, we'd like to thank you for joining us. I'm Trip Morgan. This is Billy Harless, bringing it to you after every game, post-game show live. Y'all be sure to right here to like and follow us on Facebook. This is like our main social media site. This is where a lot of our stuff goes down. But we are now live on YouTube. We are going to Twitch now as well. We may be doing Periscope. I'm still looking into that stuff, but we're live on all these platforms simultaneously now. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. It's all as easy as this right here from your mobile device. And again, just do that. And you can find us in the podcast form on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, all that great stuff. If that's your cup of tea for listening later, like I said, we welcome you. Billy, going in this game, last night we just did our roster projections, and we're talking about some tough position battles going into this game. And I really feel like none of those were answered for us. We were kind of talking about this before we went live. I kind of really don't know where to lean. I think we'll start off with quarterback. You know, the backup quarterback is kind of that topic's kind of heated up here lately. Behind Cam, I feel like Heineken, as Cam calls him, I feel like he's really kind of solidified the number 2 role. And
I feel like he is more of the Cam type player with the mobility he has. The offense isn't, he's not Cam, but he can run better than Gilbert, and it will be a better plug-in than Gilbert would. Just like when we put Anderson in, it's a totally different offense. We have no mobile quarterback. I think he's the solid number 2. In my opinion.
Yeah. I think he's pretty much got that in the book. And he is sneaky fast.
Yeah.
Like we kept saying it. We kind of talked about it last week at the game. But he is just sneaky quick, and that's one thing I think the coaching staff likes in him. And it's still not completely – I don't think it's out of the question that the Panthers could bring in somebody that might get cut off another one of these teams. You just saw – we didn't really talk about it last night because we were hitting so hard on the roster projections. Teddy Bridgewater was a big name that Panther fans wanted to see backing up Cam Newton. I'd have loved to have seen it. I didn't think it was realistic.
Yep.
Now he's in New Orleans with Sean Payton. So that's pretty interesting. You just don't know how this thing's going to shape out when people start dropping quarterbacks. But I think I'm going to start calling him Heineken just because I like Cam's nickname better. I think he's got the number 2 role, and I see people already jumping in talking about the cap situation and the running back spot, and that's my next one. And this is one Billy and I were really having trouble with. One of the two, I guess, but this one right here tonight. I
think Cap has jumped over Barner.
Yeah.
And
it's still close because Barner showed the versatility in the receiving game, special teams, and running the ball. He still had good runs.
And at the beginning of the game, Cap was running
ripping it off.
He was killing it.
5 run. I think he had 5 rushes for 35 yards tonight before he was sat down. That's the other thing. He didn't play a ton tonight, compared to Barner, which kind of also makes you think, all right, the coaching staff likes what they saw. They're going to pull him and see if Barner can prove himself and what he's got. And at this point, we were saying last night we didn't think they'd keep both of these guys, and now I don't know. I think they're leaning towards Cap. The offensive line situation is still in shambles. What did Barner end with tonight? Let's see. He had six carries for 16 yards. Not, compared to the Caps 5 for 35, and Barner was in there late with some of the deeper talent. But he also did some receiving tonight as well. 4 catches, 27 yards, and he was in the return game, of course, showing the special teams. Man, that's gonna be a tough one. Like I said, I feel like Cameron Artis-Payne has the edge because he's been here the last few years.
Yep.
The coaching staff knows him, and I think he's just kind of shown it. I'd like to see both of them, but I don't know if we can keep both of them. Hitting y'all's comments right quick. Nudie, Cap looked good. Yes, he did. And this is typical Cap in the preseason as well. I mean, we talked about it with Demir Bird the last few years, always showing out in preseason. He hasn't really this year. Cameron Artis-Payne is another guy who does it. He really knows how to show those flashes, and he looks like a good running back at times. If he leaves his team, I feel like he could do something somewhere else. Nudie Bird did okay with what little he got. Nothing really happened with him. Yeah, I mean, again, he was in the return game as well. Didn't hit on a terrible lot there. He did show. I mean, he was hitting holes. Showed some good moves to get some extra yards. He had a couple nice catches receiving. He didn't stay in a whole lot either. Curtis Samuel, on the other hand, before we get deep into the wide receiver thing, Curtis Samuel played tonight. That kid has just done a complete 180 over the season, over the past season in an injury with his hands and going up in there to get the ball.
Yeah, and that was my comment at the beginning. I was like, wow, we're actually catching the ball.
Mm-hmm.
A problem.
Good catches
that Samuel and Bird have had an issue with, and seeing Samuel tonight, and Torrey Smith didn't play.
Right.
I think he's become the solid 2 on the team, and Bird, with what he's shown, I mean, there could be times when Bird is on the field and Moore is sitting out. Torrey Smith,
Yeah. And and Moore played some tonight too. Didn't get a whole lot of action.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't play for a long time. Along with Bird and Samuel. Curtis Samuel, man, I just can't express enough how big of a fan I am of this kid, and even more so now how he's bounced back from that, a really tough injury to come back from, and he is. He talked about how he was working on his technique and using and getting back to catching the ball with his hands and attacking it. And man, he has done it. He's athletic. He's fast. He's going up and getting balls. That one catch we were actually talking about right now was just sensational.
Yeah.
I put out a tweet. I said, the improvements that Samuel has made this offseason it's incredible. Now, please take him the hell out of the game.
Yeah.
I don't want to see this kid in here anymore. Heck, I didn't really want to see DJ Moore in there, but I get that. I mean, he's a rookie. You're trying to see that. And I kind of get it with Samuel, too. He's coming back from the injury. He flashed last year. You still need to see some things from him. And they didn't keep him in there long. But back to the Bird conundrum. 5 or 6 receivers. We were talking about it last night. Bird didn't really show out tonight. He had, I guess, really this was probably his best game of the preseason, but I don't, a lot of fans want to see him on his team. I'd like to see him on his team. I think depth-wise and return-wise, he could be used. I don't think he makes it to the practice squad. I mean, he could. I mean, there's that chance, but I think there's a team out there who would scoop him up and give him a shot. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, too. Looking at y'all's comments. Where's your snapback hat at today? I like the Panthers color shirt, Johans. Oh, yeah. I finally got a haircut, Johans. That's the main reason. I've been slacking on my, what's it called? I guess hygiene might be it, as far as my hair getting cut. But no, thank you about the collar shirt comment. Monica Hillian, hey, girl, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you in here. Love y'all show. Awesome job. Thank you. Monica's running the Panther Loud, Panther Proud, Panther Growl group over there, I believe. Give that a check out. Johans, keep Cap and Barner just in case. Armagh is going to run the ball too. Armagh is definitely going to be involved this year. I think that's safe to say at this point. And North Turner's always like
the one run he had, he didn't look bad.
Yeah, I mean he got a first down on 3rd and short.
And that's nice to see that we aren't throwing the ball.
Yeah,
just pound it, and we used our fullback.
Yep. And yes, again, it's another weapon out of the backfield. That's the big thing. If it comes down to Barner or Bird, keep Bird, please. I don't, between those two, I would definitely want to keep Bird. Like I said, I'm on the Bird train. I'd like to see him stay. Josh Kurt saying Barner is for sure gone. We'll see. I think Cap has the edge right now. We were talking about earlier. I think Cap has that edge. No room for Frazier. We can't keep that many wide receivers with our O-line situation. No. Most Frazier actually led the preseason for receivers with touchdowns this preseason. Interesting stat there. It's good for him. I'm happy for him. He's probably going to be – the Panthers are probably going to try to land him on the practice squad. There's a chance he could get snatched up too with that kind of success. And look, I'd love to see him on the practice squad. If not, if he gets picked up, I'm happy for his future. Go do your thing. Keep living that dream. I think he's gone too, Monica. Frazier can get the practice squad. He could. Let's see. About time, Brian. About time you got that haircut. Yeah, I know. Ken, Bird has caught everything in preseason. Yeah, and look, that's another thing. Bird was making some. He had that one catch out of bounds he nearly came down with, and he's kind of had that Samuel look to him as well, going up for the ball and attacking it. And of course, he had that butt cheek catch last year. That was real popular. So that was good to see. Let's see. Justin Rouse wants to know a prediction for our fantasy football league that we're drafting for on Sunday. I'm going to kick everybody's ass, and that's all you need to know. So I'm going to win. I'm going to keep pounding that fantasy league. No, I didn't win it last year. We'll see. But anyway, back to Panthers talk here. I'm going to get away from Redskins fans. So we talked about Bird and receivers. The defense, some players that didn't play tonight was interesting. Dante Jackson, the rookie cornerback, was held out with the vets and the starters tonight. Didn't play, didn't suit up at all. That's pretty big. I mean, that just kind of shows you clearly.
He's making the roster.
Yeah, we pretty much knew he was on the roster, but it pretty much tells you he's got the starting job opposite James Bradbury. That's going to be big, and I'm so looking forward to it going into next week. Guys, the next game is for real.
Yeah.
Like, we are a week away from football. Real football, football that matters.
Yes.
I can't. It's going to be sensational. I just can't wait. Josh Kurtz got 3. I don't know what that means. I must have missed it when he commented up there. But week away from football. Cowboys coming into town, and we hit them with some fresh uniform combos tonight as well. Had the white tops, black pants, blue socks. Could have had black. I know a lot of people were commenting on it, and I like the uniforms tonight. And then people were talking about the black, and that's true.
It's nice to see a mix.
Yeah, we've been asking for fans have been asking for a different look all these years, and now we're getting them, and they're like, well, we could have done this. Guys, can we be damn happy that we got something?
Yeah.
But yeah, the black socks probably would have been a classy touch. My buddy Den over at Keep Poundin' was really pushing this uniform combo the last week and a half, I guess, from the last game. Finally got it. So Den, I'm happy for you, buddy. That's his Madden uniform combo. His fantasy land over there that we live in on Madden 19. Mike Strib, they say Cowboys have the worst wide receiver group in the league. Should be okay there. Stack the box. Yeah, I'm not terribly worried about Dak Prescott beating us next year, and I'm not going to turn this into a big preview show just yet because we are going to do that next week. But Michael Gallup is not a guy to sleep on in the wide receiver core. They did get Allen Hurns out of Jacksonville. It'll be interesting to see how he responds. But I'm a big fan of Michael Gallup, the rookie wide receiver they got over there in the 3rd round of the draft this year. I was high on him in the draft. I knew he wasn't coming to Carolina because he's kind of a Devin Funchess build, but the kid has top end speed. It'll be interesting to see how quick him and Prescott get some chemistry going. But I feel like our defense can, if you can stop Ezekiel Elliott, we can handle that team in week 1 because there's not a whole lot to go off of for teams to look at.
We know what our front can do, and we haven't seen our full starting defense yet. I'm not worried about Dak. Ezekiel Elliott though. So
yeah.
If our starting defense plays anything like our backups today, we might be in trouble. But I think we'll get it done, and they don't have any receivers. So
yeah, I was talking with some people on Twitter. If we get some serious injuries going in the secondary, we are screwed.
I mean, that's a normal storyline.
Yeah. But man, it was so bad tonight.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of the guys on the defensive front, Deshaun Hall finally got him a sack tonight, but weren't containing edges, missed tackles all over the place. And we're going to talk about this right now, by the way. The crew that refereed this game tonight was absolute trash. Complete trash.
I think the new rule,
and they said they're enforcing some of these things a little overboard in preseason. They did this last year too. With pass interference and catch calls. They made it like they were trying to drill it home, even on cases where it necessarily wasn't. They were trying to drill it home to players. But the 2 roughing the passer calls tonight on back-to-back plays against the Panthers was bull.
Well, the quarterback becomes a runner at some point. That runner is not protected in past, but he's a quarterback now, breaking a tackle, getting, still trying to run, and you put your head on the ball and you get 15 yards. That just
well, that's the thing.
It's football. It doesn't make sense at all. And
that's the thing. Like, he wasn't even. It wasn't like he had a helmet to helmet. He drove him. I mean, he tackled him, and he fumbled the ball. And
the explanation on that was he drove him into the ground.
Yeah,
but. So you make contact, and
then you have to let him go?
You let go? So then he breaks the tackle, and, he runs again? There's going to be, like I said in this game, I think there's going to be some huge game-changing bad calls.
Those were 2 personal foul penalties,
we're
30 yards.
We're 3rd and goal when we should be 3rd and 10 from the 40. We backed up.
Really more than that, because it was a sack. And it was actually a fumble.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost control of that ball, and they didn't catch that either. They didn't review it. And Ron Rivera, I was happy to see Ron Rivera going at them like for 2 straight quarters. At the end of after halftime, he was sitting there drilling them. Which, coincidence, this was Sean Hockley, Ed Hockley's, I think, son, refereeing this game. Ed Hockley, remind you, was the quarterback that told Cam Newton he wasn't old enough to get a roughing the passer call or a late hit call on a sack when he threw the ball away a few years ago that caused a big storm. And now Sean's in there. Now, this wasn't Cam Newton, obviously, but now another Hockley is in there making these calls. I just thought it was pretty funny and wild. But, interesting stuff there. And then, early on in the game, there was a miss blocking the back on Corn Elder, which it was also being held at the time.
Yeah.
I just felt like there were several missed calls.
And I feel like the block in the backs are more the safety issue than the clean hit head on the ball making a good tackle. Because it's the quarterback, it's unsafe. But those block in the backs, those are worse on a return than anything in the game.
Yep. And, it was funny because when Allen went down and was getting sacked, he had a knee on the ground already, and then their guy came up and hit him helmet to helmet, like lowered his head and everything, and I was sitting here. It took
3 seconds to get the flag out.
I was like, is he not going to throw this flag right now? This is ridiculous. It made my blood boil, and it really got me, for a 4th preseason game. I was pulling for our guys that are trying to fight for a roster spot, and that was it was so infuriating. I was telling Billy over and over, I was like, we were well into the 3rd quarter a little bit, and I was sitting here like, I'm still pissed off about these calls earlier. Oh, I see on YouTube, Young TA67, hello from YouTube. What's up, buddy? Thanks for joining. I'm going back to Facebook comments right quick. Monica saying Ron Rivera better go at them at the regular season too, talking about the refs. Yeah, definitely. I hope he keeps at that. Josh Kurtz, Galton still needs work. He won't start. No, he won't. Well, I wouldn't think so. Denor Searcy's out of the protocol as long as he keeps progressing. Galton was the one who also got beat deep along with Gunter on that great catch by, who was it, Justin Hunter early on in the game tonight. Galton tried to cut underneath, didn't take quite a good angle, and really could have had an interception.
Yep.
But missed the tip ball and break up as well, allowing Justin Hunter to come down with it. So you like to see some improvement there. I still like him overall. The coaching staff's really kind of like what they've seen. I'm not going to judge him over one play. Everybody's going to have a mistake. Let's see, Dante, he don't want none of them. Newty, I'm sorry. Dante, he don't want none of them. Pure play. Y'all are crazy. Heather Pennington, amen. Those calls were awful. Yes, they were. Scrolling on through. Yo, Hans, them other teams know how to get the ball out quick and tire out the defensive line to beat us. They dink and dunk us to death since our front 7 is a problem. I don't know if that was really the issue tonight. Josh Dobbs was making guys miss at the defensive line. I mean, he was just all over the place, and then we were missing tackles, wouldn't wrap up, couldn't contain an edge. Containing an edge was a big problem.
Containment and wrapping up, because we had him in the backfield a bunch, just not wrapping up, trying to shoulder tackle, and that could be, I don't want to hit the quarterback. I don't want to get this penalty. So the players are still going to have to learn, but the referees are going to have to learn when to keep that flag, in their pocket.
Yeah, I think the containment thing was a big issue, and that's not something you want to see guys overcommitting. Now, these are also younger players typically doing this thing, and just things they have to learn. But it's so key, especially in the NFL. They made so many guys miss tonight, not holding their containment on the edges. Aaron Lipscomb, I think we will be 4-0 after the first 4 games. I'll take that. Monica, y'all selling those Panther Source Yeti cups? I want one. Hey, look, we can start selling them. I got my buddy Brian etches these for me, right there, Panther Source. We can start getting some of those maybe. I have to work up and see what we can do price wise for it. And speaking of that, Josh Kurtz knows so many missed tackles on Dobbs. Yeah, Dobbs was just slicing them up left and right. And Mason Rudolph got in on the action too at the goal line before he got pissed off because he ran like a running back and got hit.
Oh, that was a lick. It was a lick.
Yeah, but I mean, you're running.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get up and get mad. I mean, if you're going to celebrate, that's one thing. You can't get up and get mad. You got hit. You're in the NFL now, kid. Time to grow up. And Monica bringing that up, I do want to say something. We kind of mentioned it last week about doing something, raising money here on the show to not only help build this quality, more quality of a show for you, the viewers and all, but also to help give back to, charity, our communities here, Panthers players, charities, all different kinds of things that way. And I'm putting together, I should say, a Patreon account to raise money and take donations. Yes, for the show, that's going to be part of it, but 40% of donations, of everybody's donations each month, will go to a separate account for a charity. Depending on how much money is raised each month, we might do it monthly. We might save up and do one big thing around Thanksgiving, hand out, turkeys to families who can't afford one for Thanksgiving, kids for Christmas, toys and stuff like that. Or we might donate it to Thomas Davis, Greg Olson, a Panthers player charity, Mario Addison, somebody of that nature, to help give back and do these kind of things, while also, building this show up to help, give y'all better, more quality content. There's a lot of stuff here that, we've put some money into this thing, but we could do so much more, and I want to give y'all the best thing possible, but we can only stretch so far as well. So I'll be making a big announcement on that probably tomorrow and in the coming days anyway, before the first game next week in our preview show. So hopefully y'all will look into that, and there will be pledges. There's different tiers. You'll be able to get behind the scenes access for some of this, how we set up the shows and stuff just privately. If you donate a certain amount, your name's on the screen at the end of the show for credits and in the charitable videos that will get recorded when we do these charity events for the donations. And also, we're going to do jersey giveaways as well for certain pledges. You'll get entered in a raffle for maybe every 30 days or 60 days. We'll give away Panthers players' jerseys to the winner's choice. So there's going to be a lot of options, a lot of cool things that is going to we want to try to make it feel worthwhile what you're donating your money to. And obviously, the charity is going to be a big one. That's our biggest thing here. And yes, money's coming back into the show to help build this thing, but also you can win some stuff and see some really cool stuff as well. But Monica, I will work on a price for that if that's something other people will be interested in as well. We'll see what happens. Johans commenting on Monica's profile.
Aaron Lipscomb asks, is CMC going to have his first 1,000-yard rushing year?
Good question.
I don't think so, because he's going to have so many receptions.
Okay.
That will be what keeps him out of the 1,000 yards in a season. I think he's going to catch too many balls out of the backfield,
and that's going to factor into his the 20 to 25 touches a game that Rivera and company and the staff have talked about is going to be receiving. I mean, we've seen it in the preseason as well. He was talking about rushing yards, correct?
Rushing.
1,000 rushing. I don't think that's completely. I think he could get that if he continues the workload he's getting, because he's definitely going to be in the passing game. You're right, but I feel like they were really taking a liking to giving him an opportunity at that, the every down back role. And if the offensive line is putting holes there and they're able to run the ball successfully, but they're not having to play from behind all the time, and the defense is doing well, you'll see more carries. But you also might see more of C.J. Anderson in that respect too, late in the game, wearing out defensive lines and stuff like that. But he is really shaping up. Billy was really upset last night in our fantasy draft because CMC got taken a few picks ahead of him.
1 pick ahead of me.
Was it one?
Reached 1 pick ahead of me.
And just out of spite, but he was also a Panthers fan.
Yes.
So my buddy Derek over there, he drafted him right ahead of Billy's. He said, I knew Billy was going to get him. I had to take him. I wanted him to, but I knew he wouldn't make it back.
He reached the entire round, so
it's all right.
It's whatever.
Well, he got him in a second. That's about where he's going now. You have to see. Billy salty.
I haven't got him in a single league.
That's funny. Johannes West, so y'all sold on backup QBs and safety spots for our team. Safety, I think, will be fine. We actually have a little bit of depth there. It's pretty much solidified with the veteran Mike Adams, Denoris Searcy. I mean, now Denoris Searcy and Rashawn Golden is still a rookie. The coaching staff said they've seen some great things. We've seen some good things. We also saw some bad things tonight, but I think as far as what we've had in the past depth-wise, I think he's good. We also have Colin Jones. He's not ideal. He's speed. We talked about it last night, actually. He's shown flashes with picks, but he's also gotten beat pretty bad, taking bad angles and stuff. Denoris Searcy, I still think is going to be a solid safety for us coming in. I don't think he's getting really enough respect quite yet, and I could be wrong. Come halfway through the season, I could very well not like him. But I think at safety, I think we're better off than we have been in a while, with Kurt Coleman sliding down in success. Backup QBs, I mean, we talked about it all offseason. It's kind of worrisome if Cam goes down. We don't really have a guy that can come in and I think win football games. Maybe win a couple, but carry us through a playoffs or something like Nick Foles.
Oh, yeah. Not for, when it's on the line, but I think could win a couple. I think Heinicke Anderson had a lot of years on him, but Heinicke's fast and he's mobile.
Yep.
And he's going to get better. I think we have a good chance. If he needed to be in for half a game, he could probably win us a game or two.
Yeah, and Heineken, I'm gonna keep the Heineken thing going here. 7 of 12, 68 yards and a touchdown tonight. That touchdown was to Mose Frazier. Solid. He wasn't getting a whole lot of playing time. He started off good on the first drive, then kind of struggled, went out, and then came back and did well. Garrett Gilbert, 4 of 7, 23 yards, no touchdowns. He only played the second quarter. And then it was the Kyle Allen show the whole second half, 25 of 36, 250 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. That's a solid line as well. But I think Allen is the odd man out here. We pretty much already figured that much. But it was solid. Solid line there for him. See, check y'all's YouTube comments here. Oh, and Facebook. Josh Kurtz, I'm satisfied with what I saw in preseason. I think we will once again be in a tight race for the division. Probably the best team on paper we've had since Cam has been here, especially on offense. Absolutely. And offensively wise, weapons wise, yes.
And weapons, we had Bird, we had Samuel.
We didn't have depth.
It's staying healthy.
Yep.
This is a team that we had these players, majority of them last year, healthy.
Yep.
Don't get injured. And it'll be great to see if we stay healthy. I think we'll be in a tight race. It's NFC South. It's always a tight race.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting because besides the Bucks,
yeah, I'm not terribly worried about them. But the first 4 games.
The three teams in the division, it's tough.
Yeah, we saw what the Saints did last year. The Falcons have really built Dan Quinn's built a sneaky defense over there, and I think it's something you're going to have to watch out for. Matt Ryan is just, he can be great and he can be bad. And that's kind of the same thing with Cam at times. Cam, when he's on fire, he's one of the best in the league, if not the best, with his dynamic playmaking ability. So there's going to be some tight games this year. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm ready for it. Dante Ames, guard man, is starter worthy. Talking about Brendan Mann. It's pronounced Man, guys, not Mahone. We found that out during the training camp. But, yeah, I mean, the coaches really liked him. He's been getting a lot of reps, and there's a reason why. So that's going to be something to watch. Andre Lewis, Taylor Moton will be an All-Pro this year. I hope so. And I kind of, I hope Matt Khalil gets back for depth, but I'd really like to see Taylor Moton just run away with that left tackle job. Now, we've only seen one game out of him, so he could still, have some issues there.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something. It's going to be something to watch. Depth's going to be the issue. Monica, I agree, Billy, if we stay healthy. Yeah, and that's the thing at wide receiver, and that's really what we talked about last night with Keeping Bird. I just hate it literally cost us a playoff game on the comeback against New Orleans last year on the road. Cam has had one of his best games, and he just didn't have the receivers there to really bring some catches in. Dante Ames, can Doss or Elder take the nickel from Merlin? Elder had a good start tonight. He didn't play long, but he played well. So good stuff from him. I don't think you're going to see Doss take the spot. What you laughing? What you got?
Nudie says they wish they would give Captain a nickel and send him home.
Oh my God, some savages up here sometimes. But yeah, I think Elder could get some reps there this year at some point. Captain Munderland's still got that veteran role. He's definitely struggled some in the preseason, but he vows that it's just a couple of times, and you're not going to be perfect every time. We have to accept that. But I like Corn Elder. He's looked very good in the preseason coming off the injury from last year. Lorenzo Doss, I think we talked about him making the team at that cornerback spot, kind of versatility option.
He had beginning of the game, he had some breakups. Then the secondary, he just fell apart.
Dante saying, I thought Searles got hurt. He did. He has a hamstring injury, but I don't know quite how severe it is. We're supposed to know more on tomorrow, Saturday. It's starting to sound like it might not be as severe as we originally thought, so that could be more depth coming back in. Yeah, Josh right there saying pulled hammy. Hall should get cut, doesn't control the edge. Hall will be on the practice squad. I can about guarantee you that. And then Monica agreeing with Dante there. So, yeah. Again, I think the two spots you're going to have to watch is really, you're going to have to watch how the offensive line depth plays out and what they choose to go with there, because it could really affect numbers in other positions, particularly running back and wide receiver. I think Cap has the edge. Really like to see him keep Demir Bird, but that's kind of up in the air as well.
And the show last night, Elijah Hood, some of the viewers wanted to keep it. He was carted off in the first quarter, so that that solidifies him not being on the roster.
And Billy and I kind of felt like he wouldn't be there anyway, but there was a lot of fans out there saying that they felt like he should earn a spot over both Cap and even Barner. So that really kind of hurt his chances, obviously. Damian 4 came in a little late. Who y'all got for the starting five on the offensive line week 1? It really depends, but right now I'm going to go left tackle Taylor Moton, left guard Van Rotten, center Ryan Cleo, right guard Trey Turner, and right tackle. We're hoping Jeremiah Searles is back. That's the hope right now. That the hamstring is not severe. He limped off the field pretty gingerly the other night, but we'll know more about that in the coming days. And if it's not him, Blaine Clausel got a lot of work tonight. I think he did give up one of those sacks tonight, if I'm not mistaken. But in the last game, he did pretty well against the Patriots when he filled in. So that's going to be something to watch. But that would be my starting five on the offensive line, and I would expect you would see some Ian Thomas, Greg Olson, 2 tight end sets in there to help out blocking.
And Armagh, if it falls apart, we're going to have a fullback in the backfield.
And Armagh can block too. And I can't stress, the thing with Ian Thomas is his blocking is really well. So that's going to be a big plus, not to mention we've seen he has the ability to go up, catch the ball, and score a touchdown speed-wise. Charles Ellis, Hall is a casualty out there every time he is on the field. He needs a lot of work. He is on the practice squad. Yes. He wasn't, when we drafted him, he wasn't big. He put on some weight. Muscle weight this offseason. He got injured last year, put on some muscle weight. That was good to see. Haven't really heard his name much since, outside of tonight. Josh Kurt, so no Matt Cleo. Week 1, no, I'm not sure he'll be ready. He just had the surgery. Was it 2 weeks ago now?
2 weeks on his knee. Yeah.
There's a chance he could play week 1. I know Pete Prisco seemed to tell the guys over at the CBS Fantasy Sports Pod that somebody was telling him they thought he'd be ready to go week 1. I'm not. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Darrell Williams, not Matt Khalil. I'm sorry, that's wrong. But I don't see Matt Khalil being ready week 1, maybe week 2. But I don't see him. I don't see them putting him back out there. Carolina is extremely cautious when it comes to injuries like that. And I don't see them putting a $55 million man out there on the line, especially when you have Taylor Moton who's filling in well.
Yes.
I think our draft class this year can make a huge impact like the Saints draft class did last year. Great point, Joseph Jones. I agree. The addition of Dante Jackson alone could be huge. Marcus Haynes is a quiet sleeper at a rotational defensive end spot. Drayshawn Smith, who will be the starting secondary? James Bradbury, Deshaun Jackson. Well, that would be weird.
Yeah.
Dante Jackson, Captain Munnerlyn, in the nickel spot anyway, and Mike Adams and Denoris Searcy. It's your 2 safeties. Heather Pennington, I thought Matt was hurt. He is hurt, Heather. He had Arthur. Yeah, okay. Vanner, y'all catching up now, or I'm catching up. Yeah, he had a scope. Taylor Ray, who's wide receiver 4. Right now, I think they have it as Devin Funchess, Torrey Smith. I actually don't have it pulled up, but judging by what we've seen in preseason, it's Devin Funchess, Torrey Smith, maybe, and even Jarris Wright, DJ Moore. They've kind of switched in and out there. Then it falls to like a Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel, Jarris Wright, and then who would be Damiere Byrd.
If I was to make the starting 4 based on preseason
and training camp
and training, Funchess, you're gonna put Moore in there because he's the rookie. Torrey Smith. And then Samuel.
Yeah. I would have, obviously I'm a big Samuel fan.
Yep.
Samuel would be in that 1 to 3 rotation of the wide receivers somewhere in there. I think his speed and just, his improvements on the other side from Funchess would be huge. I mean, we've seen it. And granted, we say again it's preseason, but I feel like, and we don't know what they're going to do. But Torrey Smith hit on this tonight during the game, actually. He said, what a lot of people don't realize is what the adjustments that Norv Turner can do with his offense. He said, you're seeing a very slimmed-down vanilla offense, which we know in the preseason. But it was reassuring to sit there and hear it from another player once again saying, look, we've seen a lot of things in these games that we would have changed out of at the line, had this been a real game in the regular season. So that's comforting to see.
And you can say it's preseason for Samuel, but his catching ability now, like just he's going to get the ball. It's a totally different player. He's not waiting for it. He's putting his hands. He's catching with his hands, not his chest. It's a totally different player, and it's really nice to see. And that's it is preseason, but to see his fundamentals have gotten a lot better.
Yeah, Ken Duncombe thought Williams was gone for half the year. No, he has not been placed on IR yet. Robert Bear actually said he feels good about his recovery right now. Again, all these injury questions, we're going to know a lot more come, Saturday. Let's see. Dante Ames, who's the other linebacker besides Luke and Shaq while Davis is out? Yes, Nudie and them answered that. Mayo is definitely one. Jermaine Carter Jr. will also be another. Jared Norris and Ben Jacobs. Cam looking like the 2015 Cam. Shoulder shrug. Yes, I think you're going to see Cam spreading the ball a lot this year. I'm excited to see this offense. I'm not going to lie. I'm excited to see Cam out there with these. Do we go 5 or 6 wide receivers into the season? And how do we go into the season with 2 QBs to make room? Billy and I are on the 6 wide receiver train just because of what happened last year. Granted, our wide receivers this year, the talent-wise, is a lot better than last year, but never hurts to have the extras. And
the 6 is what we would like, but it all depends on the line, keeping Barner for special teams, who they want, Barner or Byrd for special teams, because they're going to keep one of them. They can't keep both, and it's going to be who do they use on special teams, and that's who's going to get that roster spot. So, I would keep Byrd, get rid of Barner, but I don't work for the Panthers.
Dante Ames, Mayo is shaking my head. He's more the inside than out. And I would tend to agree. Mayo is, really going to would be like Luke Kuechly's backup in the ideal situation. And you might see a rotation there with Thomas Davis out. Obviously, Shaq Thompson is going to play a big part in all that. Taylor Ray, or I saw Monica commenting in here. He's looking better. Curtis Samuel. I'm eating crow with the laughing emoji. Yeah, Monica. Samuel's that dude. Taylor Ray, do you think we'll sign an offensive line before the season? A quality one at that. Quality wise, I don't know what's really out there. We'll have to see what roster cuts bring out. But Rivera is kind of pretty much all but said in the past with the injuries, it's not out of the question. We'll just have to see. I wouldn't have any clue who they would bring in at this point. You could also maybe even see a trade. Don't know.
Yep.
That's always a possibility that could be thrown out there. But yeah, so anyway, guys, we got to wrap it up here. We've been up here for a little while. Next week, we are going to be here previewing and talking the Panthers Week 1 matchup against the Dallas Cowgirls at home in Charlotte, Bank of America Stadium. Billy, it is here.
It sucks. We got to wait till 4:25 on a Sunday, though.
I know, almost. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is going to be brutal. I didn't think about that.
It's America's team. Always
we might even have to do a pregame show for that. Have to keep an eye out for that. But yeah, so y'all go ahead. Like I said earlier, if you haven't already, like and follow us right here on the page. Share this post. Share everything you can for us. And subscribe on YouTube if you're that. And then check out our podcast form if you want to listen to the full show there. You can dial it back, rewind, all that jazz.
And like you said at the beginning, we're Facebook, YouTube, and for any gamers out there, we're on Twitch.
Yes, as well.
So anywhere you can go, you're going to find us. Because I know some of you don't like the Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So we've opened it up this year, so we have all of our chats integrated, so we won't miss any of your comments.
Yep, exactly. So good point, Billy. We're and like I said, I'd like to move to Periscope on Twitter to try to get the Twitter interaction, but I know Periscope is kind of odd with live streaming stuff, so I don't know if we're gonna do that quite yet. But appreciate y'all for sticking with us. I will be getting out all that stuff on the Patreon account and all that jazz up in the next day or two, and we'll be talking about that. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Next time you're watching the show, it'll be I'm gonna go ahead and call it. It'll be the Panthers being 1-0 after defeating the Dallas Cowboys at Bank of America Stadium next Sunday. That's gonna be a late show too, ain't it? I don't care. I'm gonna be jacked. I'm off that Monday. Let's get it. I'm Trip Morgan.
Billy Harless.
Y'all keep pounding.